incompetent to stand trial. So, AKA, he won't stand trial because, you know, the guy's insane. But let's hear it. A lot of people are upset about this. They're saying, oh, he was competent enough to do this, that, and the third. But people are reading into his criminal history and not his medical or mental health history, because he's always had a history of absolute insanity, absolute like terrible mental health. And for some reason, they wanted to wait all the way until this guy kills some innocent young lady to be like, all right, maybe we need to actually force him to actually get some help. Even though this man has had a 14-year crime history, like as an insane guy. Like, and yes, every time this guy's got arrested, trust me, when you read into why he was arrested, it's always some insane stuff that he's saying. So this guy was never really competent, but for some reason they let this guy out on the streets multiple times. And that's the real atrocity here. Understanding that this guy was not mentally all the way there, but yet they still kept him out on the streets.
The man accused of killing a young woman in North Carolina light train has been deemed incompetent to stand trial in a state case following a mental evaluation, according to newly released court doc. Can you imagine this? Is incompetent to do that. Decarlos Brown Jr., 34, is charged in the fatal stabbing of Ukrainian woman Irina Zarutska, 23, while aboard light rail links Blue Line in Charlotte, August 22nd, 2025. This less than a year ago. However, a report stemming from Brown's time as a patient at Central Regional Hospital determined he was incapable to proceed in the upcoming state criminal trial, according to court documents obtained by Fox News. This is separate from a federal case that he is also facing stemming from alleged attack. Brown, a homeless man diagnosed with schizo, is
he's schizophrenic. The guy literally said that the girl was calling him the N-word in his mind, and she was reading his mind, putting thoughts in there. Like, bro, this man is literally insane. It isn't the first time that he says some insane shit. I mean, there was another arrest that he had where he says, oh, the government put some materials in my brain, and I got to get it checked out. Bro, they put materials in my brain. I'm just like, oh, yeah, this guy's lost. So, like I said, I understand it. I understand that, oh, you know, he needs to go to jail for life and all this good stuff. And I mean, I'm there with you guys, but in all honesty, I agree with the verdict just because I've looked into this guy's history and he is insane. He is not all the way there in any way, shape, or form. And he shouldn't have been out on the streets.
Currently in federal custody on separate charges relating to the alleged murder. Vinny, I'm coming to you first, and Aviva, I'm coming to you next.
Well, and they left out the part where he walked away and said, I got a white girl. I got a white girl. Crazy people aren't. That's a mission that he was on to do. And mind you,
if you understand black culture, bro, you'd understand. I mean, yeah, I'll be real with you. When he said I got that white girl, I was like, yeah, guess what, dog? That doesn't prove that he did it, like, you know, with the logical mind or his mind all the way there. Him saying I got that white girl doesn't mean that he was all the way there. If you look at that man's demeanor the entire time, it lets us know that he's not all the way there in the head. And when he stabbed her and said, I got that white girl, I mean, be honest with you, it just let us know that, well, he got that white girl. Should he be in jail for it? Yes, he should. Is he insane? Is he competent enough to stand trial, though? No, he's not.
Pat, he was arrested 14 times since 2007, and the crimes included assault, armed robbery, breaking and entering.
And here's the worst part about it. His own mother said that he should not be let out of jail. His own mother said that her son, this guy that killed this girl, had mental problems and he should be seeking help. She asked the court to do so, and the court ignored her and allowed this guy back onto the streets. It is what it is.
Firearm possession, other felony offenses. They said he got schizophrenia diagnosis. His own mother warned the courts, Tom, that he should not be on the streets. And just before killing her,
Vinny, so if you understand that his own mom realized that he had mental problems, I mean, then sorry, but him saying I got that white girl means nothing. It doesn't mean he did it because he hates white people. I mean, let's be real. He didn't do it because he hated white people. Be honest with you. If you actually read the story, he did it because he believed the girl was psychologically in his mind, pretty much infiltrating his mind, calling him N-words and all type of stuff like that. This was his literal statement to the police, that this girl was reading his mind and invading his mind and calling him the N-word. And if you look at him, if it was about killing white people, he passed 2 white guys in a group who didn't even notice him. If he wanted to kill a white person, he had multiple chances before he even got to the girl. So it's not about killing a white person. It's about this guy was literally insane.
He was released again on a cashless bail, and then he ran on the train, stabbed her in the neck. That's complete and total failure. If you guys remember,
but here's the thing though. If, like I said, if it was about stabbing white people, then why do you walk past 3 groups of white dudes twice? You know, before he stabbed that young lady, God rest her soul, and after. That proves that it wasn't just about her being white. Okay, guys. I mean, I know y'all want to make this about race, but it's not. It's about an insane black man who's given way too many chances.
Dahmer murdered 17 people, dismembered their bodies, ate some of them, found competent for trial. I think this is complete BS. Okay. So 14 times offender, Pat. This is the system. This is the system failing, and it's absolute BS. And it happens this is just one time that it's happening, and they keep blaming this insanity nonsense. You guys kept letting him get out, and this happens way too much, Pat. It happens way too much. And it's not slipping through the cracks. They don't give a damn. They don't care. How are you arrested 14 times? How? And you keep getting put on the street, and your mother says that you shouldn't be on the street, and then he does it. And it's just an excuse.
And here's the thing. I already know what you guys are going to say. Well, you're just protecting me because he's black. No, dumbass. And this is the problem with a lot of people. They're too emotional, and they want to see a race war. Like, you guys are too emotional. The problem is, if you actually look at the details of the case, he didn't stab her because she's white. He stabbed her because this guy's insane, and he truly believed that this lady was infiltrating his brain, calling her the N-word, so he decided to stab her out of insanity. Like I said, if this was about race, he could have stabbed other white people on that bus, but he didn't. Or train, sorry, on the train, but he didn't. And he explained to us why he did that horrific action. He said it was because, his brain was being infiltrated. He told police that he has materials in his brain that the police put in. He has a record of insanity that you guys, don't want to actually look into, don't want to bring into the facts, because you want to sit here and believe that there's just race war going on, that black people are out to kill your scary ass, when we're not. So please stop being such a pussy.
Just an excuse.
Rob, what is this? He just showed up?
This is all of his mugshots over the years, the 14 times that he's been arrested.
Are you sure that bottom left one is him?
This one in from the left. I'm not sure about that one, but I know the rest are.
This was the graphic that was widely circulating of all of his arrests.
Wow. So, Viva, how do you process this yourself?
It could be one of the cases where someone is legally, mentally incompetent to stand trial because they are in a state. My best friend's father growing up was a criminal lawyer, still is. He told us of one of these cases where a guy does cocaine for the first time in his life, has a total psychotic break, is dissociated from his body, goes to a random person's house and beats them to death with a crowbar. And then the argument is not that he's innocent, but that he did cocaine and that's voluntary intoxication, but that he's, criminally not responsible for what happened afterwards because it was literally like being an automaton. There are limits to that defense, and he wasn't defending himself on the basis of innocence, but rather temporary insanity. In a case like this, the guy has a history of schizophrenia. It is an institutional failure. There's zero question about that. We live in a world now where you empower mental illness instead of treating it. And so they say you can't institutionalize these people because you have to respect autonomy of individuals and leave schizos who are violent and dangerous on the streets because you can't involuntarily confine them anymore. But him being found criminally incompetent to stand trial, he's not going to go free. He'll be institutionalized, hopefully for the rest of his life. Because once you do something like that, and
that's the funny part about it. Y'all over here crying when this man is going to be institutionalized for the rest of his life. Like, he's not going anywhere. They're not letting this man back out onto the street after that horrific crime. So I know all y'all who's in here crying, you're just defending him. No, I'm not. How could I be defending somebody that I'm supporting to be locked up for the rest of their lives, you dumbass?
Associative state, you are forever a risk to society. But it's not like he's going to walk free. This might be one of those cases of a systematic failure of the institutions, but a man who is clearly out of his mind and insane.
Look, you know what?
He's cooked. His mind is
California's got the 3 strikes laws. And once we determine that someone who's committing violent crimes, and look, he had a history of violent crimes. Not all of those mugshots were for violent crimes, But good Lord, let's just assume that one picture is not there. We have 13.
Yeah.
So let's say it's not 14. Let's say it's 13. And some of those were violent. So therefore, what failed was you didn't get this guy into an institution or figure out what to do with him so he's not back out on the streets. And what the most galling part of this is it's on the liberal side, and there is a line of thought that is in liberal politics that it's not really the victim's fault. It's society's inequality and unfairness that drives people to steal, to do this, to respond, to do things like that. And therefore, we should have compassion for the criminal. I'm sorry. The state of North Carolina, or whoever's responsible for those 13 instances and run-ins with this guy, you failed.
I mean, if you're telling me that these judges should lose their job and be brought up on charges, hey, I'm all with you on that one, because you're right. They failed 14 effing times to hold this man truly accountable. And they known he had a mental illness 14 different times. And they try to push him into going into one of these mental health services, but he refused. They try to give him medication. He refused. And for some reason, they even during his refusal, they still let him out on the streets. Like, bro, this man Brown, right, has a documented history of paranoia, schizophrenia. His sister and mother stated he had been in a state of psychiatric crisis, frequently refusing medication just before the attack. He was reportedly seeking hospital treatment to stop going crazy. This guy was actually looking for help, if you don't know. This guy knew he was insane. He knew he was a problem. He was looking for help, and he was denied. But nobody want to look into the deeper details, do they? They just want to sit there and just paint a black man as a villain. And I get it. But guess what, guys? It ain't that. Maybe you do need to look a little bit more deeply into this before you want to start looking at color. Because this could have easily been a white person, could have easily been an Asian, could have easily been a brown person. So I'm sorry, but please, let's focus on the real issue here.
Failed. And I believe
nobody gives a fuck about you if you got mental problems, and we let you fester out there until you become a problem.
That the family has a cause against the state for gross negligence of executing. What do we execute the principles of our justice systems for?
Bro, are you a retard? No, you have to be a retard, because I just read out to you pretty plainly that he was frequently refusing medications, and just before the attack, he was reportedly seeking hospital treatment to stop from going crazy. Yes, this guy who committed that crazy, heinous crime was seeking hospital treatment from stopping from going crazy. Bro knew he was a threat. His mom knew he was a threat. Sister knew he was a threat. Like, come on now. Like, bro, are you, like I said, some of y'all are just retarded. Y'all just want to make this a race thing.
Keep the city safe for everyone else. So that the law-abiding citizens that are doing the right things, living the right lives, don't have to live in fear because we have these defective units are out there, regardless of how it happens. It happens, David, it happens permanence by the willing use of street drugs that causes permanent psychosis. Yep. It's like, okay, well, you made the choice and now you're defective and we got to do something with you, but we can't keep turning you back on the street. And I am, it's like,
that's the thing. I agree to that. I'm not excusing the guy's crime. I'm saying that, what the fuck are we doing? We know this guy was a problem for a while now, and he was still let back out on the streets. Parents reported on him. Like, bro, I'm talking about his mom, sister. He even tried to bring himself in, and he was denied. Bro, what are y'all doing out there when it comes to these guys? You're just leaving them out on the streets for them to cause a crime, for them to cause a problem? And now we got people out here wanting to blame black people as if it's our fault. Like, come on now. Like, don't do us like that now. Don't do us like that. And make sure to like the video and double tap that screen. Appreciate the support, guys. And a shout out to my man Noah Joyner. Too much money in keeping mental and bodily health unhealthy and untreated. Yep, that's true. Make a lot of money in curing. Well, I'll say this. We make way more money in treatments than, actually providing a cure. Like, bro, we can cure your cancer, or we can just put you on chemo and start making hundreds of thousands off your ass. But I mean, or we can just give, you just pay that nice little $10,000 fee, take this capsule, you're free of cancer. But why would we do that, man? We trying to make money here, bro. We ain't trying to fix nothing. We trying to make money. It's all about money. Man, fuck people. I'm just playing. That's how corporations think, apparently.
We don't need, 3 strikes laws like we had in California, where kids with 3, drug sales, and 2 of them were selling marijuana. We had kids in California, the 2 other 3 strikes were sale of marijuana. You step back and go, whoa, then that 3 strikes law failed. But in this case, come on.
It's the meme, like send in a social worker. That's what they would have done with an individual like this. He should have been institutionalized, and you need to bring back mental institutions to some extent, because right now the prison system is the de facto mental institution.
Well, I remember,
and that's the problem. We can't have the prison system be the de facto mental institution, because they're going to go in there and commit more crime. Sadly, that's exactly what they're going to do. Go in there, commit more crime, and be more of a danger to, the prisoners. And then when they get out, they're going to still be a danger. In his case, he'd be in jail for life, though.
Used to be insane asylums in this country. Right now, there are mental health facilities. Or they're just put in jail.
I mean,
and then
let's be real, though. The mental health facilities ain't even helping them.
They're just, the cops have to deal with them.
By the way, if you've ever seen the old Tonight Show, and Johnny Carson would make jokes about Camarillo. The reason he made jokes about Camarillo, California, because there was an institution that was run by the state that was for these people. But in combination of budget cuts and what the liberals called, criminal justice reform, they shut them down. And so there it is, California State Mental Hospital. And part of it was incarcerated, and part of it was people that were just developmental disabilities and mental health in Camarillo. Is this on screen, Rob?
Yes.
This is when Johnny Carson would say, well, Ed, you got to be careful there. They might send you off to Camarillo. And that was Johnny Carson making jokes about this. But Camarillo was known as this place with it. And guess what? The liberals got it closed. They closed it. They defunded it. And where did those people go? They became homeless or on the street, or the justice system in California didn't have a place for them. So the systems have failed the honest, law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you can never take anything away from the Camarillo outlets. To the people who live in that area, you know what I'm talking about. It's hands down one of the best outlets. And right outside of Thousand Oaks, Camarillo is now a much better facility. I'm sure there's still some crazy people there, but I have a lot of memories of doing a lot of things in Camarillo. But you're right when you think about that, right? There's levels of crazy. Okay. So what if Trump is talking about he wants to reopen Alcatraz? Okay.
Yeah.
If he's talking about he wants to open up Alcatraz, I just don't think I want to put these guys in a crazy place. I don't think that's enough of a example to make. It needs to be an example for the guy that's flirting with being crazy to say, I am not wanting that to happen to me. What percentage is going to be like, you know what, I'm not doing this. If it helps 30%, 40%, do it. If it helps those to say, I'm not willing to go to this level, do it. You put me in a mental institution, you're going to feed me for the rest of my life, give me a house with a roof over my head. You know what? All right, cool. That's not that bad. I'll go hang out with other crazies like myself. You understand where the thought process goes to.
But I'm not worried about that guy or how he feels. I'm worried about the person that he kills and their family. We have to stop putting ourselves in the criminal's shoes. Well, you have to.
Bro, trust me, we get it. But that's just the law. If a guy's mentally incompetent, which this guy has proven to be too many times, like I said, I mean, let's go talk about the delusions of mind reading. In a recorded jailhouse call, Brown told his sister he attacked the young lady because he believed she was reading his mind. Yeah. Man-made materials delusion. Brown claimed that materials or a chip implanted in his body by the government were controlling him and lashed out on Zariska. And he insisted the murderer would force authorities to finally investigate the substances he believed were inside of him. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Imagine telling that to the police. You think they're taking you as a sane man?
Understand, he had a tough life. You have to understand his father wasn't there for him. He murdered a 7-year-old girl. He murdered a poor innocent woman. Why are we giving him the benefit of the doubt? The man is an absolute menace to society. This soft on crime nonsense is perplexing. Pat, what's the thing you always say, that whatever the situation, genetics loads the gun, that your personality aims the gun, but then your life experiences pulled the trigger? Whatever it is, these people, you said 3 strikes, you're out. This guy's, how many times has he been in jail?
California 3 strikes off.
Yeah. How many times has he got? 14 times? This guy should have had the death penalty already. Oh, Adam, you're way too aggressive on crime.
Why are you screaming so much today?
So I'm
how much like you've been screaming nonstop all day, and we're sitting right next to you on every story you're
and
screaming.
I'm the angry patriot.
Oh my God. I didn't realize. Sorry, Vinny.
But I mean,
but at what point Are we just going to say enough's enough with these freaking people?
Well, I'm just curious that how many arrests have to happen? Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. 3 arrests where they're like, okay, he's
For
crazy.
what though?
Oh, what I'm saying, stealing,
for what?
guns, all the crimes that he's done.
Yeah.
Once you get to 5, it's like this guy cannot.
I mean, let's be real. He's done some bad things, but I mean, bro, what he did on that train was the worst thing he did. And that's why this has got such public attention. Because of 14 other crimes, I mean, we see that every day. This type of crime that he did on that train, yeah, that was horrendous. So yes, that's why this one got that special little public attention, which now he's most likely going to get the help he needs. You know, he just had to stab a girl on the train to finally get it, which is absolutely insane because he should have got it before that. Or, I mean, at least been in jail for a while and got the rehab there. But I don't know, maybe with the first 6 arrests, you know, that'd have been fair.
Function in society. Okay, now, by the way, this was years ago. Now we know he's a schizophrenic. He's diagnosed. By the way, if my mother walked in here right now and talked to Pat and say, hey, Pat, listen, Vinny has multiple personality syndrome. One of these people that's living inside of him is violent. Don't hire him. I would expect Patrick to take my mother's advice and say, Vinny, I love you. You're great around my family. You're like my brother. I can't have you around because your mother, the person that knows you the best, says that you are freaking somebody else. So the fact that happened and the court can't say, you know what, you're right, let's deal with this. 14 arrests, it's unbelievable.
Listen, maybe this is a wrong time to bring this up, but your mother called me last night.
Hey, man.
She told me the truth.
Hey, I'm on the turn right now.
No, the issue in this case is the violent crime.
Sybil.
It's the violent crime coupled with the schizophrenia diagnosis. When I was a young lawyer at the firm I was at, we used to do these things called motions for confinement. You'd go to court and you would be basically involuntarily confining an individual who posed a risk to themselves or others. And some cases were clear cut, others were much more middle ground. But you know, there are circumstances where someone just needs to be institutionalized, medicated, put on a regimen, made sure that they're following the regimen in order to be re-released into the public. The flip side risk of all of this is that you start bringing back mental institutions, using them as political weapons. We saw, you know, I'm from Montreal where we had the Allen Memorial. We had MK Ultra based out of Montreal. So you can see where the flip side risk of over-institutionalizing is. Declare every political rival mentally insane and institutionalize them is what communist regimes have done. There is a middle ground. The pendulum is clearly swung way too far to one side. Doesn't need to swing all the way back to the other. They need to be brought back. Violent, schizophrenic, mentally ill criminals need to be institutionalized, medicated, put on a regimen in order for them to be released into free society.
You ever see the show Always Sunny in Philadelphia? You know,
I don't even know about the release yet. I don't know. I think we just still need to keep them in there for 5 more years just in case.
This conversation, I don't want to make light of the situation, but this is sort of a humorous approach to what we're talking about right now. You ever see the show?
You know what? I mean, we'll be wrong with putting back insane asylums. Let's be real. I mean, it's going to create jobs, so that's a good thing in the healthcare system. That's a good thing as well. So I can't be mad at that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get over to here. We're going to go and get into this documentary, guys. My man Tommy G, he done got a lot of heat for releasing this, so let's get into it. Investigating Israeli terrorism in the West Bank. So, yeah, if you're a supporter of Israel, this is for you. You might want to go ahead and pay attention to this because this gets pretty wild. And, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud. Just super chat it in or Venmo it in by scanning the QR code up top. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's go. We're going to spend the